We live in a culture obsessed with celebrity. We track their red carpets, analyze their social media, and debate their performances, often reducing them to two-dimensional characters, the glamorous, the chaotic, or the utterly self-absorbed. We assume that the very mechanism of fame, the relentless pursuit of attention and the devotion to creative art, must necessarily exclude the quiet, disciplined rigor of true intellectualism. Hollywood, we tell ourselves, is a world of emotional genius, not academic genius. But what happens when the curtain drops and you realize that the person you just watched deliver an Oscar-worthy performance or a belly laugh-inducing gag also happens to hold a doctorate in neuroscience, is a licensed physician, or has published scientific research? That is the intellectual double life of the elite few in Hollywood, and it is a fascinating, almost jarring discovery. Tonight, we are pulling back the velvet rope on the conventional understanding of fame to reveal the top 5 celebrities who are secretly geniuses, the individuals whose intellect could have landed them a Nobel Prize or a professorship, but who chose, instead, to captivate us from the screen. We are going beyond high school dropouts who found success and looking at the academic heavyweights who walked away from laboratories and lecture halls to chase the spotlight. Their accomplishments challenge the very notion of what a celebrity is, proving that you can be both an artistic master and an intellectual powerhouse. From a beloved comedic icon who secretly holds an advanced engineering degree from one of the world's most prestigious universities, to a groundbreaking actress who chose Harvard's rigorous academic environment over early fame, prepare to be shocked by the sheer brainpower hiding behind some of the most famous faces in the world. Top 5. Rowan Atkinson. Kicking off our countdown at number 5 is a celebrity whose genius is hidden behind a near-silent persona, defined by physical comedy and childlike absurdity. We are talking about Rowan Atkinson, the man globally recognized as Mr. Bean. When you watch the meticulous, often chaotic antics of Mr. Bean, or the bumbling aristocratic charm of Blackadder, it is easy to assume that the man behind the mask is merely a gifted physical comedian. That assumption could not be further from the truth. The character of Mr. Bean is a construction of precise, intellectual comedy, and the man who created him is, in fact, an exceptionally well-educated engineer. Atkinson did not just attend a major university. He mastered a highly rigorous, technical discipline at one of the world's most esteemed institutions. He first earned an undergraduate degree in electrical engineering from Newcastle University. Then Atkinson pursued and successfully obtained a Master of Science, or MSc, in electrical engineering from the Queen's College, Oxford. For context, Oxford is not just an old school, it is a global epicenter of academic excellence, and a master's degree in a subject as demanding as electrical engineering requires a level of analytical, mathematical, and problem-solving skill that puts him in the top percentile of intellectual achievement. The contrast here is astounding. On one hand, you have the celebrated actor, Rowan Atkinson, who can spend minutes making an audience convulse with laughter by simply trying to parallel park or remove a shirt. On the other, you have the Rowan Atkinson, who was trained to design complex electrical systems and circuits, a pursuit that requires abstract thinking, logical precision, and relentless attention to detail. This background provides a fascinating lens through which to view his comedy. It is not just random slapstick, it is often described as meticulously plotted, almost mathematically precise, physical humor. Some commentators have suggested that his engineering background gave him the skill set to perfectly calculate the timing, weight, and delivery of every single awkward moment and physical gag, turning chaos into a predictable science. The fact that Atkinson chose to pivot from a guaranteed career in engineering to the highly uncertain world of comedy, a choice that led him to create characters that are the antithesis of the stoic, logical engineer, speaks volumes about his multifaceted talent. His intellectual discipline did not limit his creativity. It appears to have fueled it. Rowan Atkinson is the quiet proof that brilliant minds can thrive just as easily on a soundstage as they can in a specialized laboratory, earning him the 5th spot on our list. Top 4. Lisa Kudrow. Moving to number 4, we find a star whose intellectual life is so removed from her most famous role that it borders on character transformation. We are spotlighting Lisa Kudrow, best known as the delightfully eccentric, guitar-wielding Phoebe Buffay from the global phenomenon Friends. Phoebe was endearing precisely because of her flightiness and often baffling logic. The actress who played her, however, is a model of scientific rigor and academic achievement. Before she became one of the highest-paid television stars in history, Lisa Kudrow was on a determined path toward a career in scientific research. She attended Vassar College, where she earned a Bachelor of Science (B.S.) degree in biology. This choice alone sets her apart, as a B.S. degree requires far more rigorous coursework in mathematics and hard sciences than a Bachelor of Arts, even at a liberal arts college. But she did not stop there. Following her graduation, Kudrow immediately put her scientific skills to work. She spent 8 years collaborating with her father, Dr. Lee Kudrow, a renowned headache specialist. Her work was not secretarial or administrative. It was hands-on research. Specifically, Kudrow worked on a research project concerning the relationship between left-handedness and cluster headaches. This research was significant enough to lead to her co-authoring a paper titled Comparative Incidence of Headache in Subjects with Left and Right-Handedness, which was published in International Journal of Neuroscience. Think about the discipline required to co-author a scientific paper. It involves methodical data collection, statistical analysis, and the ability to articulate complex findings clearly and accurately, skills that are completely opposite to the spontaneous, often nonsensical, dialogue of a character like Phoebe Buffay. Yet, Kudrow excelled in both worlds. Her decision to shift gears and pursue acting was a late-game career change, happening well into her 20s after years dedicated to scientific inquiry. Some might argue that her ability to master and inhabit a character so intellectually different from her true self, the intelligent, methodical scientist, is, in itself, a testament to her high-level cognitive flexibility. Lisa Kudrow represents the power of the high-achieving student who possesses the intellectual capacity to succeed in the lab, but also the charisma and talent to dominate on the screen, securing her position as our number 4 smartest celebrity. Top 3. Ken Jeong. At number 3, we have a celebrity whose comedic performances are often defined by shouting, frantic energy, and an absolute commitment to the absurd. He is the breakout star of the Hangover franchise, a mainstay in modern comedy, and a beloved presence on television. But Ken Jeong is not just an actor and comedian. He is a fully licensed medical doctor. Jeong's intellectual journey is perhaps the most shocking to his fans, as his on-screen persona is so frequently unprofessional and manic. His credentials, however, are impeccable. Jeong earned his M.D. from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, one of the premier public medical schools in the United States. Following medical school, he completed his residency in internal medicine at the Ochsner Medical Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. Internal medicine is the branch of medicine that deals with the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of internal diseases, requiring a vast, comprehensive, and detailed understanding of human biology and pathology. For years, Jeong led a professional double life. He worked as a physician in Southern California while simultaneously honing his comedy skills at night, often working in clinics during the day and performing stand-up in clubs after hours. This kind of schedule is physically and mentally grueling, demanding not only a high IQ to handle the medical knowledge, but also exceptional stamina and focus. It is the ultimate intellectual tightrope walk, dealing with life and death decisions during the day and attempting to make a room full of strangers laugh at night. The moment Jeong's career shifted from medicine to entertainment came after he won the Big Easy Laugh-Off, which led him to move to Los Angeles. But even after his acting career took off, Ken Jeong maintained his medical license, which is still active in the state of California. This means that if he chose to, Dr. Ken Jeong could step back into a hospital today. This background profoundly changes how we view his chaotic comedy. His ability to switch between being a reserved, dedicated physician and an uninhibited, scene-stealing comedian demonstrates a massive range of intellectual and emotional control. He represents the kind of genius that uses their intellect not just to heal, but to entertain, proving that a medical degree is no barrier to becoming a global comedic superstar. Ken Jeong is a true polymath of performance in medicine, making him a compelling number 3 on our list. Top 2. Natalie Portman. Just missing the top spot at number 2 is a global superstar who famously prioritized her education over the height of her early acting fame. Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman. When most young actors would have been focused on maximizing their celebrity and securing blockbuster contracts, Portman made a deliberate choice to attend one of the most intellectually demanding universities in the world, proving her commitment to learning was deeper than any role. Portman enrolled at Harvard University from 1999 to 2003, earning a Bachelor of Arts, A.B. degree in psychology. At the time, she was already internationally recognizable, having starred as Padme Amidala in Star Wars, Episode I, The Phantom Menace. In a famous demonstration of her priorities, when the film premiered in 1999, Portman skipped the red carpet to study for her finals. She later stated, "I'd rather be smart than a movie star." Her academic work was not simply about showing up. It was high-level scientific contribution. Even before Harvard, in high school, Portman co-authored a paper titled A Simple Method to Demonstrate the Enzymatic Production of Hydrogen from Sugar, which was entered in the Intel Science Talent Search. While at Harvard, she continued her research in the field of neuroscience and co-authored a second paper, Frontal Lobe Activation During Object Permanence, Data from Near-Infrared Spectroscopy. The study looked at how the frontal cortex of the brain changes when infants gain the ability to understand that objects exist even when they cannot see them. This research involved working as a research assistant in a lab and assisting Harvard psychology professor Stephen M. Koslin. Furthermore, law school professor Alan M. Dershowitz noted that Portman was an exceptional student in his seminar, earning an A+ on a paper about new methods of lie detection, which led to her being hired as his research assistant. Portman's journey perfectly illustrates the intellectual rigor required to balance a top-tier acting career with the immense pressures of an Ivy League education. Her psychology background is often cited as a key factor in her acting work, enabling her to formulate complex and deep characterizations, such as her Oscar-winning role in Black Swan. Natalie Portman is a rare example of a Hollywood elite who openly declared and proved that her intellectual life was more important than her fame, earning her the impressive second spot on our list. Top 1. Mayim Bialik. Securing the undisputed top position on our list is the only celebrity who has repeatedly played a brilliant scientist on television, because she is, in fact, an actual brilliant scientist in real life. Mayim Bialik. Bialik, famous first as the titular character in the 1992 sitcom Blossom, took an extraordinary and unconventional path when she chose to leave the acting world to pursue a career in academia. She attended the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, where she earned a Bachelor of Science degree in neuroscience, along with minors in Hebrew and Jewish studies. But Bialik did not stop with a bachelor's degree. She continued her studies at UCLA, pursuing a doctoral degree. In 2007, she successfully earned her PhD in neuroscience. Her doctoral dissertation was titled Hypothalamic Regulation in Relation to Maladaptive, Obsessive-Compulsive, Affiliative, and Satiety Behaviors in Prader-Willi Syndrome. This is an incredibly specialized and complex area of research, focusing on a rare genetic disorder and the intricate functioning of the hypothalamus, the part of the brain responsible for regulating essential behaviors. The irony of her story reached its peak when she returned to acting and was cast in The Big Bang Theory. The writers of the show gave her character, Amy Farrah Fowler, the job of neurobiologist, directly referencing Bialik's real-life academic credentials. The running joke, that the girl who played TV's Blossom got a PhD in neuroscience or something, became a factual anchor for the character in the show itself. Her intellectual life has continued to shape her public profile, extending to her role as host on Jeopardy, and her work in advocacy, where she uses her scientific knowledge to discuss mental health awareness and to encourage girls to pursue STEM fields. Mayim Bialik is the ultimate intellectual powerhouse on our list. She not only achieved the highest academic degree possible in a difficult scientific field, but she managed to return to the fickle world of Hollywood and was celebrated because of her intellectual achievement, not in spite of it. Her commitment to the mastery of the brain, both in the lab and on screen, makes her the most undeniable secret genius in Hollywood and our #1 smartest celebrity. The journey we have taken through the intellectual back catalogs of these 5 celebrities shatters the myth of the vapid star. We have seen that the creative drive necessary for enduring fame is not mutually exclusive with the disciplined rigor required for scientific and academic excellence. From Rowan Atkinson, the Oxford-trained electrical engineer whose precise calculations may underlie the meticulous genius of his physical comedy, to Lisa Kudrow, the published biology researcher who traded in lab work for the spotlight of Central Perk. We acknowledged Ken Jeong, the licensed MD, who chose to heal us with laughter instead of medicine, and Natalie Portman, the Harvard-educated psychology graduate who proved her intellectual devotion by co-authoring scientific papers during the height of her Star Wars fame. And finally, we celebrated Mayim Bialik, the only celebrity on our list who holds a full PhD in neuroscience, whose brain power became an inseparable, highly lucrative part of her television persona. These stars offer a powerful reminder that the human intellect is multifaceted. Success in Hollywood often requires a unique blend of emotional intelligence, creativity, and yes, sheer brainpower. These five are the rare few who possess a certified, undeniable genius that operates completely outside the realm of their profession, making their double lives far more compelling than any role they have ever played. What celebrity do you think is secretly brilliant? Let us know in the comments below. For more deep dives into the lives and double lives of the famous, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We publish addictive lists and shocking deep dive analyses every single week. Thank you for watching Behind the Lights.